Oh, here comes Janet. Janet, are you able to hear us?
Yep, I hear you.
Can you still hear us?
Yep, I can still hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. Thank you.
Yep.
There's treats on the counter left over from last night. If anyone's interested. All right. It's like 20. Then you go back. Well, three is. Yeah, there's so little, let's go forward, take care of the public comments, and we'll kind of bring everyone up to speed of where we're at.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 6:06. And we need somebody to vote.
I will, it's not ideal, but I'll do it.
Thank you, Lori.
No problem.
Meeting called to order at 6:06 p.m. Meeting was posted. Attendance would be, we have, Lori, Lena, myself, and Janet. Hello, Janet.
Janet?
Yep, I'm here. Yep, I'm here. And Kyle's here.
Okay, oh, good, then we definitely meet for him.
Janet,
Do you guys all have your microphones on?
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yep, now I can hear you, it's just barely.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, Mark, you'll have to put yours like down. And we have, I know the, and then do you mind sharing your names? Okay, I'm Tammy. Sorry, I haven't got the letter written to the council yet. At Fox, so.
Sharon, I'm joining the park board.
Oh, thank. Wonderful. And your name is?
Oh, I'm Tammy Cass. I was here 2 meetings ago, but I was on business travel in October. So, we made that briefly at that meeting.
And, their names?
James and Michelle Backhouse.
James and Michelle, and wait for your last name?
Lamprecht, LAMPRECHD.
Got it. Thank you.
We don't have the minutes for the prior meetings, so we'll
Did you do the pledge?
postpone that till next month.
Mark, did you do the pledge?
Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God.
Move to adopt the agenda as presented.
We have a motion by Lori, second by Lena, to adopt the agenda. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Agenda adopted. Public comment right now, and payment would like to comment. If it's not on the agenda, you'd like to talk about how we use time. Arlen, yeah.
Just a minute, hold on.
Not this one.
I'll see your card.
But you look for the next. Maybe. Slow down. It's gonna.
Give me a second. I move to take item number 2 by pedestrian facilities and move it to item number 2. Yeah, we're coming back right there. I guess the last time we said
You'd like to go to item number 2 first, or?
I think we could just put it right after number 2 or number 1. Make it item number 2.
I'll just go.
Just carry it in.
Janet, Kyle, can you hear the interference with someone talking online?
I'm sorry, can you ask me again?
Are you picking up on interference with someone else talking on our feed here?
I am not, but I'm on my phone and I'm
Okay.
going to
Don't
in
worry.
about 5. Then I'll know more. But nope, I'm not hearing anything.
1 second, someone.
Okay. Can I just move item number 2? Motion made and seconded to move, business item number 2 with final discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll start off with, well, we went through public comments, so first thing we'll do is the business item number 2.
I don't have any email pics, do you know any other ones? That would,
No, I don't.
okay. All right, here we go. You wanna go? Ready?
On item number 2, the first thing we have is,
Mark, I suggest go to the last item, on the business item.
which would be about pedestrian facility.
Correct.
Okay. All of the town board meeting, these facility on. Discuss campaign and condition part of them available on the list. Is there a comment on that?
So what happened, Mark, is the town board has sent the making pedestrian map back to the park committee. And it includes a result of public input after a hearing. And there was some objections to one lane proposed on that map for a future possibility of that being a connection. And for that reason, that's why it's back to us to review. My understanding from what I pick up from emails is that Janet likely is going to gather some past history on going back to 2014 or possibly sooner than that. For an explanation of how that came about. And how it was determined, and then we'll have to make it, look at it, and there's also gonna be probably another map from Stantec that I have requested, so I'm hoping that it comes through, because right now the maps are very general and they just have connections and color on there, what they could possibly be. Obviously, our immediate interest is the Delaware Farm Road connection going to Somerset. The county, of course, is gonna work from Holton to V and then from V out to going towards Trout Brook, but that's all on the county's back, so any objection to that particular route would have to go to the county. It's just indicated on the map, that's how the connection's gonna go. So,
We don't have a copy of the map.
we don't even have that, and what I did was ask for a different version of a map that had all the connections. But I also want to put on, I want to put the roads back on the map. And I want them to put the property lines on the map, because we're drawing lines on a map. Based on a few principal artery roads
That don't show it.
that don't show us that.
Yeah, so we were at that meeting also, so a
That's-
lot of
that's
them
why I-
actually drove through like 100-acre properties, right through the middle of them. They're showing through the Dudley's farm. Ours, it runs like behind all of our properties, in fact, up to the Marty's. And running through their property, and that's why we brought it up, it looked like it was arbitrarily. A map. for
Okay, and then, can I interject just for a second? This is Janet.
Sure.
So I've been getting some of those emails and we are going to discuss this in depth at our December meeting because we need to collect more information. I think Lori just said that from Stan Tech.
Yep.
And we will gather more information and then have a more in-depth discussion on this at our December meeting. Because there just wasn't enough time here to get more information.
And that's fine, I was just giving more clarity of what happened at the last meeting, so.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's why it was brought up, and then the other residents sent in the emails.
Right, and I bring it up, Janet, because as a part of this item, it allows us to have a public discussion, and they're present with us in the room, and I wanted them to have a voice on. At the meeting,
That sounds good.
and I was kind of getting to the 20th, it's gonna be the next thing. I also expect, Janet, that because of our 20th meeting, which is definitely needed. This is gonna take this action into probably our January meeting, therefore I don't foresee a public hearing before. The February town board, I mean, that. Is just kind of the trend that I see this taking.
Yeah, and I don't think the residents are generally saying that we're against the bike paths, it's more, maybe getting more redefined. To actual locations, like maybe along roads instead of through properties. It looked like they just were very arbitrary, I mean. I would say if that map was made in 2014, I'm just guessing that was the date on it. That was when a lot of that property through that area was all foreclosed still, and no one was living on it. So then at that point, who knows, it could have became county property at that point, or township property, so that might have been why it was, but now it's definitely owned property by residents, so. Most residents are gonna want a bike trail running right through the middle of their property.
And that's why,
Yep.
and that's why it ended up back here. Because
Yes.
This is the place where we can have open.
Yep.
Less formal interaction.
And then,
for the
or getting it updated to what our current property mapping is, so.
As I remember, in 2014, was an idea of which area the roads should go. But
Right.
it's never designed exactly where, so.
Right.
Now is the moment, if there's going to be people to say, okay, this is a good place, not here.
Right, and that's exactly what we're driving, I think all the residents that have gotten involved with this, that's all we're saying is that I think it's a good time to maybe get it updated.
So I'll give you, if you have a few minutes to be here, I'll give you some update.
Yeah.
This 2014 bike and pedestrian facility study came as a result of the town having an opportunity, number one. With planning monies that were given to the town that came out of the St. Croix River Crossing project.
Gotcha.
Because of the impacts that were anticipated to affect our town. Which came from professionals that work with this in other municipalities that are placed in a similar situation. They're saying these are some of the things coming down the road as the development patterns change and the habits of the people are going to change.
Yeah.
And these are some things that you're gonna need to look at. Obviously, the big blue trail and Old Stillwater Bridge, that whole bike path
Yep.
area. That was on the books probably for decades, some,
Kind of like a bridge.
you're on track, so to
Yes.
some degree.
Yep.
So they came to us and they said, here's what typically will happen when there's a big influx of immediate trails that are cool, they're here. And the same thing happened if you watch over in Stillwater.
Yep.
That same impact, they had larger, deeper pockets than we did, and they already had that in their planning works a long time as these right of ways became available to accept into their plan. So that's kind of, we were thrown into the world with this, although it had been discussed informally or in different meetings over the years, primarily by the board and probably the former park committee. But 2014 was the first time that there was a formal map drawn.
Yeah.
So kind of, so that this, what we're doing today is we're taking the data that, or now, not today, not today.
Right,
So what is happening is that we're extracting data from that 2014 study.
Yep.
And taking data that we need that was accumulated at that time. And we're putting it into a formal document, so this map will become a part of future. It's gonna be part of our up-year recreation plan, which we're trying to finish up.
Yep.
And if there was the comprehensive plan is ever updated, this will be put in there. I'm gonna, I'd have to check for sure, but this map that we're all passing around is probably in and comprehensive plan or two already.
Yep.
But yeah, to your point,
get it updated to more correct.
it needs to be evaluated and a little bit cleaner and see what other possibilities are. And we've already had a couple of suggestions of other connections that are not on the map that people are saying, hey, these are, we already know this would be a great place to have it.
Perfect. Yep.
So I know that's a little lengthy and wordy,
No,
but
appreciate
I
it.
mean, it's a good starting point. I mean, that we have to start something, so.
right, and I, at the meeting, there were several people and there was a lot of, chatter going on, but. It definitely was a case where, the people were heard that were coming in.
Yep.
And we were processing while that was going on, so if you could go back to the group and let them know that. The other thing is it has not been the sentiment of the town to either to take anybody's land
Right,
through eminent domain. And it is highly unlikely that I can see ever happening.
Right.
That the taxpayers' dollar is gonna be used to purchase land from private landowner in order to make like pedestrian trails.
right,
When we have 150 miles of our own ditch right of ways.
yeah,
So that's kind of. where-
yeah, and that's what we kind of figured. It was just more that it's probably at the point of updating now that there's more property lines. So,
Exactly. And we had to do a very big update when we found out, as long as you're hearing you're talking about it, and we're all talking about it. We also had to do a very big update when there wasn't the opportunity or it wasn't going to happen to be able to get right away. In order to get from the end of Ellen Farm Road cul-de-sac
Yep.
over to the Somerset connection.
understood, yeah,
And we have to go through a process. We've already have the right of, the refusals from the property owners that would have had the desirable connection piece. So we already have that. We have the documentation that putting it on Anderson Scout Road is not desirable at all. And both Somerset and St. Joe are both in agreement on that point. But in order, we had to go through all of those steps before we can go back to the DOT and say, here's our map, here's how we're gonna connect Somerset's on board.
right,
And then we can go to the DOT, and now hopefully the DOT is gonna grant us permission to run that right away through the Wisconsin DOT right away.
gotcha,
So it would be off-road as well, because you can't, we all know you can't drive your bike on 4 lane.
right,
So it's everything I know in a nutshell.
understood.
Um,
Till the 20th, no.
So
Yes.
just to be clear, Janet, I hope you hear me here.
Yep.
I understand, Lori and yourself will have a better map for us to discuss at the December meeting. Is that kind of what we're talking about?
That's what I,
So be sure to come to our December meeting. If you have any more questions for us on that?
No, I think it's,
Just appreciate your time.
yeah, being able to still talk about it and come up with a plan for the future too.
and thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing your concerns to the board.
Yeah.
Because that's the appropriate way to do that, because we can't help people that are, if they're not present and the avenue has made for us to communicate.
We need the input from people so we can correct the adjustment.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's evolving.
We like people to come to our party.
Well, you have people here in December, it sounds like too. It's been a good
We had,
crowd.
we had almost 200 people here last night.
We heard,
I-
well, actually drove by last night, and I'm like, what's going on? And looked it up, we're like, oh. That might have been a good one to go to.
So, as it stands right now, it passed by 3 votes to, put up a second building over there.
Gotcha. Well, with the growth plan you guys have going with rezoning areas for more industrial potential, you're definitely gonna need growth. So to be prepared for the next 5 to 10 years.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for acknowledging.
Yeah, no, it's all part of it at this point. You have the 35 roundabout. Gotta happen.
Exactly.
Where do you want to restart or from the top?
Yeah, if you want a public comment, I think you. Here's your man. Janet Lee Brown is here, and he brought us a copy of our map suggestion, which I'll scan and have Carrie put it in the drive.
Thank you. My name is Lee Brown. I'm commission member. And I would like to suggest to the Park Recreation Trail Committee possible location for a new bike / pedestrian trail. And Dr. Lori will for the meeting a little bit. What my suggestion would do would connect Trail 7B and Trail 9B. It would be connected to the two trail. And it goes on the property line of Excel Energy. They have a power line going through there, which is makes 66-foot wide strip of property that they own.
Could we see your map there?
Yes.
I assume you know the location already.
We looked it up on the map, so we could.
There, there.
Indian Street. Intersect E. And power line. Property is overgrown with brush and everything. Like that. Like just sitting there waiting to do this.
We had a meeting on the power line over here. Possible for you to come back in December too,
Possible.
because it sounds like we're gonna be discussing the bike trail map at that time. And that would be a good. Then we'll achieve all of that, we'll pass once the maps and talk about not only that trail, but other possibilities too.
Yeah, I think better match on the roads labeled a little better. You know,
Not that you have to come back, if you could. We've got aggressive trying to connect the loop trail to our township. That would be another connection there.
Yeah.
We are looking at little road there, the connection, the Tomlin's, and looking at that.
Yeah. I drove this there are no trespassing signs, so I go this with my four wheeler. And, like I say, it's fairly overgrown. Noxious weeds and stuff.
We don't want to, we don't have, no reason what's why.
When we checked on that earlier, a few years back, and someone does own the property. It was brought to our attention that the property owners, they could stop. the bike trails.
Right. Yeah, it's
So, that property.
it's take a foot of land. To the property,
How long is that stretch?
it's like about a mile.
Hi, Lee, this is Janet again. Can you just quickly say where about it is, the trail that you're talking about, or the area?
You look at the intersection of County Road E and I think it's 60th Street,
Oh, okay,
go straight west from there. They get rolling in straight. And that would connect trail 70 and 90. That's my suggestion. in part. Trails.
Does Ian 60th, is that 60th one that goes up to the cheese factory?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's kind of, it'd be from Rolling Hills, it come off of Rolling Hills, 60th Street.
okay.
You can use the desk in our bedroom.
There is an organization of Lake Pedestrian Coalition. And it's based out of Somerset. They do a lot of work with that, bike planning and bike tapping in the county. They meet once a month. I'll see to it, do I have your contact?
I can get it to you.
If you give me your contact, I'll see that you're invited to one of the meetings.
Okay. I have Lori's contact. Oh,
I have this email, and I forwarded it to you.
Over that,
Yep, and I think I have it too.
60th doesn't go to River Road.
invited to a coalition meeting where they're really, that's their main topic every month. Bike trails in St. Croix County.
Do we have a map from the Excel, the company, where they have all their power lines running, so we can have an idea of where they are, because now we look at the road map, we don't know where they are, but if we would have a map for the future, we have to make some connections. That would be easier for us to.
I've seen a county map I have seen a map. Where the XL power line is indicated.
Okay,
And
only that one, or do it, you said there are more power lines here in our town.
I think you may have been on the county website,
On the
go
power,
to the land maps
okay.
page.
We should check that. Excel basically, then has a right of way for the high voltage power lines. Yes, I understand, that's straight across the town. But we don't know how to map, exactly, but I've never seen a map, I think that's what I wonder, if there is a map. And so we have an existing map, and we put finding here, okay, we want to run this one, okay, here we have. Well, here's the power line, okay, was this short about that, can we solve it with your suggestion? So, yeah, we have it present for us, that helps us make some decisions in the future.
I haven't seen that.
And they should, that,
Doesn't mean there is not.
I would think that would be an agenda item for a future discussion. And ask, we can have, well, how we could have a discussion in general on the kind of how that corporation is. Because it's gonna be turning into a long conversation and the outcome of what the conversation would be the action that we would have to take us.
Do you have anything you wanted to add to that?
That's it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody need this map? pretty well have an idea of what we're talking
I would like it back, so then I'll scan it and, yeah. I will see to it that, or I'll bring it in tomorrow and let Terry scan it and have her.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Committee meeting updates. What's the heck of the meeting last night?
Lori, do you have any updates from last night?
Yes, there were about 200 people in attendance. The meeting went 4 hours long. It started out with the first hour. There was a PowerPoint that was done as a collaborative effort between the chair and the clerk. And Matt, our first supervisor, was an excellent job that showed the existing spaces and photographs, both on this side and the fire department side. Kind of my understanding is that, because there was an open house opportunity starting at 6 o'clock, that some people did actually go through the fire department side or were taken through up the fire department side. But the meeting started at 7, and like I said, Teresa went over the PowerPoint, and there was a handout that was at the meeting of several documents, and she briefly went over each of those documents and how it was going to drive the meeting and the order it would be taken in. And then it went into public comment, which was quite lengthy, and I would say that the people, although some were more passionate about it and more vocal about it than others, I think it went very, very well, and there was good commentary that came out of that meeting. And then they went into the formal process of going through the motions that needed to be made in order to conduct the town business for the next year, including with the final and the approval of the budget that was put forward. So there was 4 major actions. The first one was to give the town work members a raise of 5%. I believe the second one was to, yes, how it had to be done. It had to give the town board permission to buy and sell property, and for us to be able to develop property there. That was a necessary motion in order to put a building on. And then we went into approval, giving us approval to borrow that money. And that the approval was actually a part of the approval of the budget for the town, so it wasn't done as a separate motion, so they weren't, but like they, it was kind of an all or nothing motion at that point. So like I said, it ended with, we're going forward with a new building by 3 votes, and that was the wrap up of the meeting. Yeah. Oh, one other thing that did come out of the thing is that right now, the targeted area to construct a new building is the piece of property, the green space or the playing field in front of what we call the play field on the south side of the town hall building and on the west side of the building. And that was the wrap on that particular meeting. Are you still there?
Yep.
Thank you, Lori. That was quite a meeting yesterday. So,
Yes, thank you.
been very challenging. You've been part of this for quite a few years now. That's a tough job. Although constructing was there, maybe. You did.
I haven't been there, but they were what I saw when I saw I was there Monday. Well, it's going to be quite a. I
They're
came,
one step up.
when was it, Saturday, and I saw the stairs all the way up, then it's like, wow, that was surprising, but. It had done some
Work hard, and all the volunteers up. People, ball field updating story.
None other than that they intend to, use our field again in the, in 2024. They have gone forward with getting their built little storage building, outside the field. Used for their different supplies, and that, building was actually constructed as a part of a high school shop project. And, which is, because with the question on why it's delayed, well, it was because it was being constructed in segments of the part of the teaching project. And, it looks like it's gonna be wrapped up, and he said that they do intend in the spring to, stain it to match. So the demand, whatever, some of our buildings are. So other than that, I don't have anything other than that. They felt that it was a very successful years of the girls and their parents like being able to use this facility. Who decided who selected the place? There was quite a discussion at the town board level on. I want to say this September meeting. It was. It has to be placed so that, because they own the building. They wanted it placed so that if they want to remove the building, they can get at it without destroying any of our property that have to be reconstructed. It also was, stuff for mowing around it and the maintenance of the actual grounds. And then there was some concern as far as obstructing the field of vision for parents that would come to watch their children play. And those were the three considerations.
Do you know anything about the impact fee balance? I don't see that on the material. We're expanding.
I can't help you with that tonight, Mark, because I did not bring my supervisor printout that has that information.
And let's move on from that then. And go into the volunteer priorities. We've got quite a number of them. I'm not sure
Yeah, we can talk, you can table that, Mark.
okay,
You're gonna table, so we're gonna table it till the next meeting, till the December meeting, or until?
Yeah. December.
I'll just, well, agenda. As you can see, we have a lot of projects working on. This has been quite a year for us because we were over at the Central Nature Reserve to do some work out there. And then we're finishing up some slide work here and even the locking product we have here at the town hall, which I think more people are discovering, so.
We welcome volunteers to represent. This is not
Business, start outdoor recreation plan, final approval, I think you started talking about that one, did you know that? The hearing for that,
It's speaking in here. Yes, the outdoor recreation plan, final approval,
So I can speak to that. I'm gonna do a special meeting so we can all talk about it and make sure everybody has a copy and can look through it before we meet up. And I was looking at the December 1st, so Wednesday. Would everybody be available at 6 p.m.?
I don't think you can have December first.
That's not it. The end of November, sorry. I don't have it right in front of me. November 29th. November 29th. I just heard from Terry that that was available that day. Because then we can go through it and give the final approval for the, to the town board for the December meeting.
So your special meeting, you're gonna have November 29th at 6 P.M., Janet?
Yeah, does that work for everyone?
Does now.
Yes, for me, it works.
And then I'll make sure everybody has a copy ahead of time. You can either look at it online or Terry can make copies for you, whatever you want, so that you can look at it before we meet.
Okay.
Janet,
What
would it
time
be,
was that?
6:00.
6 o'clock?
Janet, since, would it be just desirable that people, make a list of, and list the page and the note that, or that they want changes on it, just submit them to you, is that for the matter of time on your meeting? How do you want people that will be attending and have it for input, how do you want that input brought back to you?
Well, however everybody wants, but just so that they've looked at it ahead of time. So however they want to write, however you want to write it down, so we can look at it.
All right, you'll take care of the agenda and stuff as usual.
Yep. It looks good. I looked through it, and it looks really good. So I think there'll be very minimal things to do. There was a couple of pictures that were duplicates, so I know we won't want that. But otherwise, it looks good.
Great.
Was everyone written down? November 29th is 6 o'clock. Number 2, or, wait a minute, number 2. Review and discussion of town of St. Joe's park properties. The town hall park and preservation area. Discuss line area updates and dates work. We should finish the stairs and the slide tomorrow. And then Chris Marshall will be excavating the area around the slide. The next big job is to put down the rubber mats on those. We're waiting until Janet gets back from Arizona.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I was just going to ask that.
When are you coming back?
The
21st or.
21st, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
You drive
So
back
Wednesday?
Till then. But yeah, really, we need the excavation done and then we'll talk about it. Nina and I have been discussing it, we'll probably set up a work day, to do it. The weather's cooperated with us, we're hoping that can continue. I would imagine it would be a 3 hour task for several people.
And while we are doing that, we have proceeded. So at that moment, it was just going on with the seed that we need to acquire them. I can make sure that we have the seed for that day.
How much do you think of that?
I have to give
You can turn in the bill after the town hall.
I don't have the seed here, the cost, but I can, figure it out and get them and get the cost. It's not very much, so I should.
I can put in carriers and those to just little ones, like the tubes that were destroyed first time, and then it was starting to be loud.
So if I go to a place and they have the seeds, I just purchase them,
Yeah.
and bring versions of bread to them. Because it will not take time, but it will be there, and in the spring when it starts raining, then it will start growing, so. And they will not wash away because the mats are coming.
Well, this is the last task I see,
Okay.
and, I will be talking, you and I will be talking, because Christmas winter today,
Yes.
every time I work there, it shows up.
There's another thing, I think it will be nice when the mats are put in place. to plant shrubs around like stairs and that wasn't the part.
You know, there is a, tree or shrub and trees they don't have covered right now. If you wonder if birds.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest also. So how big are they? Because we have had experience by,
It tells you how big they are.
you have to almost take it out.
Yeah.
Okay, they on the county website? Yeah.
Absolutely. It just came out 2 weeks ago. I don't know if the rest of you are interested, but the county does sell shrubs and trees once a year. You can get on their site and buy things at a very practical price, and then you pick them up at some designated date. They have and they will.
So then my question is, if the county doesn't have the ones you want in there, it should be. Well, then you go to the whole budget.
Well, I just buy.
Okay, because I know where I had a, the county still have it, like buildings, they get a wholesale. So if the county has a fragrance sooner, because those are low, they spread and they will keep everything in place.
We want to buy them until spring mode.
I think they can be planted now. Those are very hardy plants, if they're planted now, in spring, we don't have to start planting again.
I don't know, what we buy.
Then
We have the money to do it though. We want to do it.
okay, I have the, I calculated for the shrubs was. Age shrubs. Like $30, no, 49 shrubs, because it's not only the hill, it's also between the small, the commons area and the big one. So it's 49 shrubs, at $30, it's $1,400.
So Janet, I haven't, figured out how much money we spent on the slide so far. When you get back, we should look that up, see. if
Well, we
can-
need to talk to Chris. I mean, I think a lot of that falls on him.
Is that
I mean,
right?
I know, we know what everything else costs. I just don't know from what he has contracted. So if someone wants to add, because that's what I was just gonna ask that and tell Nina that I know that we budgeted for some of that for next year.
Think so.
Do you remember, what our total slide,
What
what our total budget was on the slide?
What's the total budget?
90,000. Yep, and it was 52 for the equipment.
So Janet, I just, want to say, if you're going to buy shrubs and plant them, yeah, this fall. That's an expense, in order to spend that money, you need a motion and it needs to be approved by the board, so the next board meeting.
If it's not part of the, if it's not, I mean, we already have, it's already part of the plan.
Yeah, but you're still gonna have to have some notation that. Gets that out there so that the board is notified that you're gonna spend that money.
I mean, like the excavating and all those things, we haven't asked for that each time. So if the plants was already part of the plan,
Maybe we can just make, that's gonna happen and then can go out.
I think we should just make a note on that, tomorrow, that, you know, I think we should put down, we might spend up to $5,000 on plants. I don't know.
No, we're just read about the ones we get right now.
It's all be a lot less.
Yeah, what I calculated was 1,800, so if you say will not exceed 2,000, we're fine with that.
So we'll say 2,000.
Yeah.
Put that on our notes, story that you pass on to the board. I think it's included in what we've already got planned, Janet, like you mentioned.
okay.
So we should be planned everything this year, if the weather holds.
Yeah, can you drop me an email if that doesn't work out with something plan, purchase and plan this year, this fall?
I will first check county, if the county has them.
Yeah, but your county ones will not get until spring.
Yeah, you won't get, I just looked it up, you won't get them until May.
Until May. If you look at the,
I have it up right now, yeah.
do they have the fragrance sooner? And the size of it,
That part I haven't got back to you.
I'm thinking of that.
But whatever the case, you wouldn't be able to get them until May.
Well, for instance, if it saves us a lot of money, then we'll wait up spring.
Right,
We have to look up.
I'm
the
looking.
website And then check out, see if anything they
Yeah.
have.
you said, you were saying sumac,
Regular and sumac, because there's a lot of different types of food. This is a local oil, not more than 54. It's
Yep.
just,
and they look great.
oh, you know what it is. I have a home for many years, you don't have to worry about them, they go to all the time, that's it. Where I was about 2-3 years.
They're the ones that turn red right away at the beginning of the fall. Really bright red.
But then, and, and in the original design, there was to plant a tree. But now that the stairs have been shaped a little bit different than on the original design, I don't know if we should put a tree in it. So I was, because the tree was included in this cost, which was already $380, so we are well below.
You know that nice turnable is there.
Yeah, so I think, we're fine with 2,000, probably questions. We need some mulch probably, underneath, the plants between the larger air playground area and the farmers. After it's planted, so there'll be some from them. And also on the sides here. But then we can do it in the spring, if we don't do it now, because it's going to be rain, the snow will be down, so it's really great. But the plants, I think we should be this year.
And there's no sumacs on their list.
No swimmings. That's what I thought, because they go more with traditional. Native. So then I will go, we have to go to the, have we done this year? Okay, we can leave it. Yeah.
Dana, you okay with that discussion?
Yes,
Discuss possible future pickleball courts updates.
there's really no updates on that now.
Okay, with that. Nature preserve. We talked about signing on the roads, if you weren't gonna have it done by the county or whatever, we were just going to put one sign at the location, double sided. Is that what we were going to do?
Yeah, can I have to update Nina on this? Because I don't think Nina knows. So, and let's talk about this more like in January when Pat's back, or Pat's there too. But Nina, what happened? The board rejected the signs, the road signs that you and the Public Works decided on.
Okay,
The board did not approve that. They declined that. Teresa felt, or I shouldn't say that. I take that back. The board felt that that putting signs up was asking for people to have a party there, and they rejected it. Well, then I'm talking to Pat with her experience from her job and working with other parks. She felt it's just the opposite. She thinks if you have signs, then you get people who want to go there, and they know it's a park, and that the signage is better. So what we talked about at one of our last meetings is maybe putting the signs on the property, not on the road. But I think Kyle kind of
Out towards the
suggested
driveway.
like out towards the driveway.
So you can
Putting
see
a
it as you
sign.
drive by.
okay.
So kind of think about that, and we can talk about it more, but we want to have more data for the town board on that information. So Pat was going to gather some more information, and so we can keep looking at that. But basically what we had already come up with was denied, and so we need to continue that conversation.
So I can put this for your minutes, Janet, it would be
Yep.
appropriate with that we had, a discussion with updates and that the item will be re-agended for January 17th, 2024.
Yep, that sounds good, because we're going to be busy in December.
Because going back to the signs, there were 2 for the county and 2 from the town right before the entrance. I still believe that the access to that place, to that park. You don't have any visibility where that entrance is, and if you put the sign right in the right of way. That doesn't give you very much time to hit the brakes or come from the other side, so I think. Even if it's two, maybe we should go back to the town board and discuss it and have it done right, because all parks have a sign before you get to the entrance.
Yep. Yep, we definitely will bring it back to the board, but we will have some more discussion at one of our meetings first.
Okay,
The first Lake, launch area and parking lot. Building a structure around the portable toilet.
oh, it has been on the. I brought some samples that it could be done by 4-H kids or something very simple. I can bring it back, let's table it until next time, I'll bring several pictures of it and we can discuss if you like it or not, we should move ahead of them.
I heard that Eagle Scout is interested in trying.
Okay, that's a very simple thing, yeah, okay.
So we're named out, so. We have. Who was the wash station, is that going out, is that, what did we hear on that? That's happening,
Yes, county is gonna supply all the material and maintain. This is for this ordinance, if the thing will be specific.
will be for the, you know.
If they're gonna have a spring opening, spring opener, so I would imagine it's gonna be, or at the very least, they're gonna put any posts or anything you wanna have before freeze up.
Is that the DNR?
Yeah, it
What-
was, recently with the DNR grant, is that correct?
Yeah, no, yeah, well, so yes, and the board approved it. Pat and Kyle, well, they went out there, and then our meeting, we sent the motion to the board to approve it, and the board did approve that. So, I haven't heard. Yeah. I haven't heard, if Terry sent it to the, person. I don't know where that's at. I think Pat was gonna follow up on that. But the board, I mean, we approved it, and then the board also approved, took our recommendation to put it in. So do you want to follow up on that, Lori, or do you want me to?
You might as well,
Okay, I'll do that.
if you're in touch with all the action so far, I just jumping in the middle of something and data.
Okay, I'll do that.
We were approached by the DNR and the county level, to put in a boat launch station at First Lake. For the news of the kayaks. We met with the DNR out there, we discussed the possible location on the west side of the parking lot that this would happen. Or we know cost to the township, it's sort of a program by the DNR, see how it works. First Lake is kind of a pristine lake compared to most of the lakes around there. They want to see the helps or it's kind of a site.
So one more comment about the first thing, I have not been there for a long time, have you been there? I remember the spring, there were a lot of weeds on the steps going up. And is there maybe a day before and go and do some weeding there, that it was really better?
Well, I didn't have your needs,
Oh, you did that, okay,
but that was, July. I was swimming there in August, looked at a lot better.
okay,
But,
well, I will go there and have.
there is some buckthorn that's an issue on the cervical side of it.
Yeah, they came down.
But, I was out there cutting lumber that fell the parking lot. And the lake is being, people really enjoy that. It's become too popular to get out. But,
That too,
we're really doing the right thing about it.
yeah.
Bayland Cemetery, that's big.
It's gonna, I was gonna say, there's not gonna be any updates or information until, I would say March, but it's going to need some major amount of love and when we can. Once those spring ethereals are starting to die back down, so, we have to be careful what we do initially. Not be in that area where they're sprouting up in the spring, but yeah, once July 1st rolls around, it's gonna be plenty of things to be done out there. Yeah. So shall we table it for January? I think you can actually table it until March.
In March. So we want to think forward.
And other than, it's up to you, whatever you wanna do for a plan, but I would say March is a good time, we all know we all know that it needs some work and. But we're not gonna do anything between now and then anyway.
Not unless the weather holds out.
Well, that's an interesting thing, you can definitely do Buckthorn.
Yeah.
Highway 35 rest area again, now we have spring project for us.
Yep, that's kind of the same thing. I think we're done for the season.
And I think Mark, Kyle, you timed it right when you mowed it because apparently the hole where the grass is sprouted back up afterwards, it still looks beautiful now. When you go by, it's green and it's the short native grass. It looks
Nice.
very nice.
That's good.
Yes, we're doing the bike pedestrian facilities starting next, so.
Your next meeting is December 20th, 2023, is for discussion specific to this.
Fall Festival 2024.
Yep, maybe we can hold off till either next meeting, next December or January, till Pat's here. I know she updated the town board at the last meeting on that. We had a discussion about trying to either not have it part of the parks, but just having a subcommittee. But I don't think that was well received. So we can either just keep it as what we did this last year, or we'll just discuss it more. But I'd like Pat to be available when we discuss that.
In agreement on discussing it at December 20th, decide how we're gonna go forward, and I think it's a matter of yeah, I think I have some input that I'll offer at that time, and I think that it'll be fine then. For making a board, or for lack of a better word, have a fall fest board. And
Yeah, a subcommittee kind of thing.
yeah, and we can discuss it at the next meeting. So I would say leave fall fest, leave it on the agenda would be my suggestion.
Yeah, yep. We did get the budget on, it's on our budget for the signs, and we're gonna work with the fire department, so that helps. That was kind of part of my reasoning, but also the doing agendas and minutes and all that, but maybe that's just inevitable with the government. We probably just have to do that. But
Well, and we can work through that part.
yeah. So, okay, we'll talk about that more next time.
Review the annual Park Trail Rent Work Plan.
Move to re-agenda.
Yeah, we'll move that one.
Yeah, and I keep looking at it. I looked at it before we left. So I'll bring everybody's copies in December. I have to add the budget numbers since the budget was approved. I had to put the budget numbers in there, so I'll do that before next meeting.
Sounds good.
Our next meeting is November 20th at 6 p.m. We've also talked about a meeting November 29th to talk about
Yep, I'll get that agenda out soon. I'll do that in the next couple days. Do you, Nina and Mark, well, and Laura, let me just ask all of you, do you just want copies of it? Should I just ask Terry to make copies of it for everyone and then you guys just pop in and get it, pick it up from her?
For what, Janet, the work
For the
schedule?
outdoor rec plan.
You know, I would say, Janet, send out a meeting or a memo to all the group as a no reply. And tell them to let Terry know if they want a hard copy, otherwise we presume everyone's gonna use the copy in the Google Drive.
Okay, perfect. I'll do that.
We're all done.
To move to adjourn. I will make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Motion made in a second to adjourn, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And thanks to everybody for coming, thanks all the volunteers we got in the last few months.
Yeah.
So people put in about different level of-
So, Mark, I was hoping to, maybe we'll just have to do it in January. I was hoping to have a pizza party, pizza something at our next meeting for the volunteers. But we'll be doing the bike thing, and that's gonna be the trails. That's gonna take up most of our meeting. But we have to think about that or think about doing something for all the volunteers.
And if that's what you wanna do, Janet, I would suggest that just, maybe not use your typical format for your agenda and shorten up the agenda items and just have it specific to what you wanna get accomplished that night.
Okay, or could we do that from like 5 to 6? Just put it on our meeting.
It depends on how much you think you're gonna have that needs to actually be discussed at that meeting. Otherwise, I'd say, just like I said, shorten up the agenda items and.
Yeah, but December is going to be busy with the trails facilities, the bike trails. So
That's what I think too. And so you're gonna have the December one, I would have the focus be the park, the trail. Meeting, have your trail agenda item and then just put a minimum for
oh,
them.
I see what you're saying. Okay, yep, I can do that. Just not have all the other items on the agenda.
So when you
Okay.
volunteer, I think is you can just make your statement, is there anybody you're gonna volunteer, blah, 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 you'll know what to do.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds
Thank
good. Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Janet, I have a question.
Do we want?
Yep.
Did the kiosk here at the town hall, playground was installed? Because I was gone and we came back, I don't know if they did Kyle put it up or not. I left it in your garage.
Did Kyle put what up?
The kiosk, the map on the kiosk installed for the kiosk here at
You
the.
see it? I think him and John did it. Him and John put up all the signs.
Okay,
Him and John Rural.
okay, I just arrived back, so I had no clue what they were done.
Yeah, yep. Oh, yes, and welcome back. We missed each other. Yeah, John and Kyle didn't think it was gonna get done. He's like, oh, it's not gonna happen. And then I don't know what him and John were doing over there. And then he just asked John, he's like, well, let's put these signs up. So I know they at least put the signs up. The kiosk part, I'm not sure. I think he did.
Well, I will check it out. I have you here, so I will check it out. You enjoy
Okay.
your time there, so there'll be some version of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, yeah.
So then so when do you need to know? You know what, I will go tomorrow morning, check it out and give you a call after that. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
We put it together, all of us.
Yeah. Oh, I know this. What?
Then we're done. We also have. The bridge is going to be. I think if Chris tells us where they're going to break that stuff. Then I want to go there so he creates that swale, otherwise the bridge is going to touch the ground and people are gonna throw and everyone is so.
We want to break that.
Yeah. So when he's with the routines, he can grade it.
I'll get you at,
You know, no, oh, I don't know, oh, consider the bring up so much. That's fine, we don't really much wrong.
Are there some things that could break?
Oh, okay.
I've gotta go home, Nina.
I'll just find it out. So we might have we have to put it in. But I don't that one, I could do good. Oh, yeah. Moving like. So, and then they. You don't want to be a part of that.
There's the switch. You have to take them out.
I'll take the battery out and put in the charging system.
And then you have the antenna, stay on those things.
I've got a ringing in my ear tonight. I don't know. I need to eat. I go home and eat something.
You haven't eaten?
I didn't eat today.
Oh, that's no good.
I know. So besides
So you go back.
the ring in my ears, there's probably a ring in my stomach too.
That's probably. Oh, there's one more. And they're gonna be very specific.
I got it.
I think so. So is TV November 28th, the meeting that we have to be there on the ad or just maybe. That's gonna be the November, no, that's the one that's usually. November 29th is over record. Okay, that would be. That we need to read. Can you give me your email? And, and the digital copy is public,
Good,
right?
Nina, and you heard.
Yeah, sorry, I think I just said it on there or something.
That's okay, but I don't-
When you want to, sorry. And then would you use for email?
Yeah.
T8MA RA KASS @gmail.com. Well, my husband, his last name was awesome. You go by Tim. I asked him with a Y or I, and then. And what's your spelling of your last name? KAS. Like Chris. No, that's okay. Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
come
I'll-
on if you can come on the 29th and you have a chance to log in and see the auto registration, we can go over so dead. What
She can't log, she can't get on, she can't work, because I won't people.
But then
you'll prove anything.
Then she
I'll
can
take
get
it,
a bunch of
I'll
empty.
take care of it, I'm going to, when I get a digital copy,
Yeah, then she can.
I will forward it to her so she can just have it. Okay. And Laura, you can give me your address, because it's one of the blocks and what I have to like listed. Well, yeah, you're under, it's, you're under, lowercase supervisor. Oh, okay. Number 3. And it's all the town will be supervisor and then 1, 2, 3, 4 and the chair, but they have. Everything, here you go, town TN, no, just TN, sorry, TN, St. Joseph, FT, all one word. WI. And then it's one, so that here's it. Oh, or got it, okay, so but this is our peer LLC. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Okay, I know they're talking to me. Oh, no, I think you are, yes, well, I just want to start out, because I get on the wrong track, and I need to spread. And then I get, if I mention people, I can say, sometimes I'll just change it, and then all my brain, so I got me, but like, yeah, and that's me. So that green state is away, that's kind of.
Well, that's
That's, is that what I caught, the green